How's everyone doing? I hope you're having a wonderful day. And today we're here to talk to you about Fortnite. It's inevitable that I would have made a video about Fortnite, but we're here to talk about Fortnite versus Apple, and also Google, I guess. So there's a situation where Fortnite is suing Apple and Google, and it goes a lot deeper than I originally thought it did. There are other companies kind of involved in this, not involved in the lawsuit. Let's just say this whole situation has been going on for about a year now, and it really hasn't been so public until now. The reason it's getting public is more of Fortnite's doing. Fortnite is making really big public displays, which I think with Apple being the size of a company it is, it's kind of the route that needs to be taken to bring it to the public eye a little bit more. This all started because Fortnite released a video, I wouldn't say mocking, but redoing Apple's old advertisement commercial from 1984 of Apple stating they're taking on IBM because IBM had a monopoly on technology. So Apple was coming out of the gates saying, we have another solution. No longer are you tyrannically bound by IBM's creations. And typically something like this wouldn't be as big of an issue if Fortnite didn't make it like an event in their game. However, I think what Fortnite is doing is smart because they're getting the people on their side. They're kind of getting everybody involved in what's happening. But let's break this down a little bit. So the reason this whole started is because Fortnite had a sale on some of their sweet V-Bucks. You know, the things that I write on my Christmas wish list for Santa every year. Seriously, Mom, I better get them this year. I'm running away. You better believe I'm taking the Danny DeVito cutout. Well, when they did that, they gave two options for the purchase. They gave the through Apple option, and they gave the through Epic option, which I think is where Apple had the grounds to take them off the App Store. I'm not saying that because I side with Apple. In fact, I think what Apple is doing is ridiculous, but this is all to prove a point. Apple takes 30% of in-app purchases that apps have, whether that be a subscription, whether it's the one-time purchase for the lewd, crude, mean dude outfit for your Shadow Raid Legends character. It's not a sponsor. I promise. No, seriously, it's not a sponsor. But Raid, if you're up, it would help if you're up to it. So, you know what else would help? A little like. That's 30%. And in 2019 alone, Fortnite pulled in about $160 million in-app purchases. And for Apple, that is a passive income of $4,800,000. So pennies really turn to dollars when you're skimming a little off the top of a multi-million user platform. And people say it wouldn't have been that big of an issue if Apple didn't make the iOS App Store a monopoly. So Apple's always been big on their proprietary technology. That's why they shove iTunes down your throat, even though we all use Spotify. But Spotify's never had a problem with Apple, right? Oh, no, they did. Earlier last year, Spotify released a very public complaint about Apple taking 30% of their in-app purchases. And again, that includes Spotify subscriptions. So Apple's reply to it was basically just saying that Spotify's being a money-hungry company. And just like every other app, they agreed to pay the 30% that goes to Apple. Essentially, it's like you can't move into a house that you sign the papers and agree to pay $2,500 a month. And in a couple months, you go back and say, no, this house isn't worth that. I'm not paying that anymore. I want lower price. You give me money now. You can't do that. You're bound by the contract. In Apple Snapback, they also mentioned that they don't take things from advertisements. So if an advertiser is paying Spotify, like those in-between song ads, Apple doesn't take money from that. They only take money from in-app purchases, which is a large percentage of how Spotify makes its money. So that's kind of why Apple is targeting them as money hungry. And then Apple also threw Spotify under the bus in the same public release about how Spotify is money hungry because they also sued artists when it was made legal that Spotify had to pay them more royalties. But the subscription thing is interesting because how does that work with apps like Netflix, where Netflix is a subscription-based program? I mean, there's a free trial, but it's primarily a paid service. So if Netflix didn't want to pay that money towards Apple, how would Netflix get around that? Well, this was also an issue before the Spotify thing was an issue. Netflix was originally one of the top performing apps on the App Store because of the subscriptions you can make via your mobile device. Netflix got kind of tired of paying so much money to Apple. So Netflix said, well, let's just bring people to our site to sign up. That way they don't have to sign up in the app. Here's where things get a little skeezy. Apple made it against their terms of service for you to suggest another form of payment. So let me get this down for you. Netflix, on their homepage, if you download Netflix on your iPhone or your tablet and you don't already have a login, there's a very cryptic way Netflix has to suggest that you get an account. And currently, Netflix's home screen says, trying to join Netflix? You can't sign up for Netflix in the app. We know, it's a hassle. After you're a member, you can start watching in the app. But there's no link. There's no link to lead them outside the app. So Netflix actually has to just say, well, sorry you're not a member, maybe become a member and you can log in. So if we take all this information, package it up, and then move it over to Fortnite territory, then we can kind of get an idea why Apple pulled Netflix from the App Store. They could say they pulled it from the App Store for violating terms of service of offering a different payment type. In all of Apple's replies to these companies, they like to state things like, well, they get to use our amazing service and they get to have a secure payment form. And it's followed by like a, which isn't easy sort of thing. Shut up. You're a huge company. Like, you have so many people that can work on that. Okay. Like, you're not undertaking the mass revolution of building a toilet for God. Like, chill. So with Fortnite's mobile platform growing bigger, this genuinely could be Fortnite finally wanting to make a stand against Apple. People aren't as upset about the whole Google situation because there are ways to get around the Google App Store. Because Android software is open source, anyone can use it, so anyone can make a package installer. Now also keep in mind that Apple and Google aren't the only companies based off this platform. If we look at Steam, which I'm pretty sure most people that play PC games use, they also take a 30% cut from every game that's bought on there. But it doesn't stop there. Any site that adds a service for you to sell something on typically takes money from your transaction as well. eBay takes money from transactions for selling on their platform and giving you the ability to do that, so you don't have to find a way to do it on your own. And it even goes to things like YouTube and Twitch, which takes money from the ad revenue before it gives it to you, the creator. Now it's a little bit more understandable there because, again, they provide the platform, but they also provide the advertisements. And at the end of the day, when it comes down to a company or a corporation suing another company or corporation, they can say it's not about money all day long, but in the end, it's always about money. Now, if you threaten to take away all my V-Bucks unless I chose a side, I mean, I would choose Fortnite, hands down, because I think morally Fortnite's making a better stance here, and also all the other companies that have gone against Apple for this exact same reason. But all that is just going a little too deep down the rabbit hole of why all of this lawsuit is happening. So if you learned something you didn't know before, please leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date on the type of videos I make, hit the subscribe button. But soon I am going to try getting back to doing commentaries as well. They're just a little bit harder to write. Thanks for watching. I thoroughly appreciate it, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.